Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome back to this NHL 23 Draft Lottery franchise mode here with the Atlanta Gladiators. Just before we jump into this one, I just want to explain to you that this episode and the next episode had no audio recording whatsoever, so I am now recording over these the video clips, so it's going to be a little bit choppy, but hopefully you guys will still get the gist of the episodes and enjoy it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So guys, it's been a hot minute since we looked at this series, but last episode we finished 29th in the league, so at least we're in a good spot there. But overall, we're getting to this draft and we really just need to land a couple big pieces, and we're going to be picking 5th. So, Ottawa, Dallas, St. Louis, Chicago, from Tampa Bay are all going to be picking in front of us. And that's not particularly spectacular because, 5th overall pick, we will get probably Michael Hage, but really that wasn't exactly the spot we wanted to land. We were hoping to, maybe move up, and, well, fifth place is about as good as we were going to get with a 29th place finish there. So unfortunately we won't be landing Kiviharju or anybody else like that, but there are some other really solid looking players in here that we should be able to go out and get. I'm kind of torn between Yzerman or Hage. I think Hage is just going to be the better option for this team because, we got a good sniper, like a really good sniper in Matvei Michkov already. And I think adding a super speedy playmaker would be the right play here. So as far as retiring players go there, Eriksson, Kessler, Vipula, Soderberg, all those guys, you guys know the kind of the standard here for the first couple of retiree classes. But overall, I have kind of changed my setup too since the last time I actually recorded anything. Jay Beagle is our retiree, but just all free agent goalies retiring there. Smith and Bishop are of course pretty big ones with almost 300 and 222 wins, but good retirees here. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the NHL Entry Draft here. And today, I wish we could trade up. Obviously we can't. That's against the rules for this Draft of Glory series. But first pick, of course, Kiviharju is going to end up in Ottawa. He is an absolute stud of a defenseman. He's going to be really good in the future. Second overall, Macklin, Celebrini. Probably going to actually go number 1 over a guy like Kiviharju. I know this is a slightly older kind of roster we're playing with. Brust is looking really good, though. Louis Brust is, wow. That's a good pick there for St. Louis. 4th overall, Berkly Catton's going to go, and that will leave Michael Hage to us on the board, as the order should have stayed. So really solid looking prospects here. Michael Hage scored like 113 points. It's comparable to a guy like Guy Lafleur. So I think we just have to go with the speed, playmaking, elite hands, that kind of stuff. And he's 78 overall. Of course, he does have wheels, ankle breaker, elite edges, magnetic, puck on a string, and tape to tape. So he should be able to put up a pretty solid amount of points within, one season, hopefully. So that is our first selection here. Cole Yzerman goes next to Arizona, 6th overall. He's going to be a beast as well. But, that was a toss-up between those two. I think we already have a sniper. We have we have one other good playmaker in Trenton Kidd, but overall, I think that was the best choice there on the board. So next up here at pick 38, and let's see first off, how did the rest of the first round go? Kaufman was pretty decent. Apart from that, Puka was actually, Antti Puka was a really good defenseman. Same with Nikita Novoseltsev being on the left wing there. McCabe was solid for a defenseman too. So at 38, I believe, I was hoping we'd get McCabe, but obviously that didn't go through. So our next pick is probably going to be down the board a little ways. I believe we're looking at a guy like, I want to say either Messier or maybe is the goalie in here Karpatsev. I want to say Karpatsev is the other one, and we should be able to catch him with our 3rd round pick. But I think we are going to go with Ian Messier here. He is a gem supposedly, so I think he's going to be a decent pick, and he's very likely going to be our selection here at pick 38. He has 20 picks off the board, but that really doesn't matter to me, honestly, because, yeah, Messier is going to be a good one. All right, so without further ado, we will draft Ian Messier with the 58th overall pick. Again, there are other good defensemen in here too, guys like Ronald Walsh, who we're going to take. But yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty decent draft class overall, based on other guys like Sami Salo being fully scouted. Funny enough, Sami Salo, actually a defenseman in the NHL back in the late 90s, early 2000s kind of era. But yeah, I have no idea why I sat and took so long to actually make this pick now that I'm looking at it in hindsight, but oh my goodness, are we ever going to select a pick here? Maybe not. Sorry guys, this is a little bit of a drag, and okay, we took Karpovtsev with the second rounder. Never mind. Okay, I don't know why we went with that. I honestly was expecting Messier, but let's see how good Ian Messier really was, because I guess, yeah, we're at pick 71. We probably could have gotten away with taking Karpovtsev one round later. Vitaly Petrov was a decent pick. Arizona lands another solid prospect there. But yeah, how good was Messier that we just passed on? 56 overall. Okay, so not bad at all. No X factors or anything though, so that is probably could have been a little bit better there. So yeah, I think we did make the right choice here in the long run with Karpovtsev, but yeah. All right, on to pick 71 now. And again, 71, we probably could have landed Karpovtsev with the pick, but instead it's kind of going to come down to this like cram fest of trying to land all these other prospects. We, of course, can't get all of them, but next up, we are indeed going to be taking, I think Ronald Walsh is the pick. Yes, he is quite a ways off the board here. I think he is going to be a good defenseman too, and he's 50 overall, so only 6 ratings lower than Messier, and again, he also has that gem status, so that means he's probably going to grow a little bit faster. We just miss out on a guy like Halvardson. Very good pick by the Senators there, especially in the 4th round. But apart from that, anybody else? Okay, Heinonen was decent. Honestly, guys, it has been probably almost 2 months since I recorded this episode initially, and then found out that the audio was screwed on it. Ekman Larson there, another good pick there by Carolina. But next up at pick 104, we will take Sami Salo. Funny enough, he's a winger rather than a defenseman this time, but 51 rated two-way forward. He very well could make our Gladiators roster eventually if he actually grows properly. So that's really what all of these players come down to at this point, especially, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, really 3rd through, it's even 2nd through 7th round. Anybody we select there, it's like, well, are they going to develop? Who knows? Honestly, who knows? So, all right. Apart from that, we've got our kind of number one goalie there in Karpovtsev for the future. And yeah, he looks pretty decent. So, really, with the 5 picks that we have selected so far, I'm pretty happy. 4 picks we've selected so far. I'm pretty happy with how we've done. The rest of the draft probably isn't going to be quite as sturdy, but that is okay. So, pick number 137. Do we miss out on any other prospects? I'm going to say probably not. But, oh my goodness. There's there's nothing in here for the most part. A lot of low 6 kind of forwards. Lad, Radulov, those guys are okay. They're semi-decent players, but really not going to make the NHL in the long run. So, all right, over to, let's see, who are we taking with 137? I think we need to go with probably Abel Blair. Let's go with him. Again, low top 6 potential. It's not good enough to make the NHL, but could be an AHL star potentially. So, we do need those AHL pieces too. It's not the worst thing ever. And I think Blair will be a decent fit. All right, so Abel Blair will be our selection, and he is 53 rated. Not too bad there. And again, hopefully he develops. All right, over to pick number 170 now. And at pick 170, we are going to be probably picking quite a ways off the board again. Usually our picks don't really fall anywhere near where they should, mainly just because most of these draft classes kind of suck. So I think, we're going to probably go with Rhodes here. That's going to be our Or is it Rhodes? Or who do we end up going with? I honestly can't remember. I think it's Powell, actually, now that I think about it. And I don't know. We might go with Rhodes first and then Powell after. I think that's what ends up playing out here now that I'm looking back at the kind of draft history that I've recorded on my spreadsheet here. But yeah, we will take Rhodes and see how he turns out. All right, so with this pick, Jaden Rhodes turns out to be a medium 7th offensive defenseman. Not very great, but again, it's a 6th round pick, so it's not the worst thing ever. All right, and for our final pick of this draft, we are going to be taking that Connor Powell guy. Again, low 9, probably never going to turn out to be anything much, but he is 60 overall and a pretty big body there as a two-way forward. So there you have it. That is our 2024 NHL Entry Draft. We get 2 or 3 really solid pieces there, just as far as guys like Hage, Karpatsev, Walsh, and Salo go. Hopefully they will all be able to contribute to this team's success in the future. All right, so looking at the progress reports here, and yes, we did get some pretty decent growth from guys like Trenton Kidd and Kirill Vorobyov. Of course, Philip Sekras up to a 76 at 19 years old is looking really good too. Elmarie Laxo, probably never going to turn out to be much, but again, like he's sitting at 72 rated there at 19 years old, so he could potentially make the NHL eventually in his career. We'll see what happens there, but not bad as far as somehow actually growing there for a low potential kind of guy. So apart from that, Teemu Vatanen grew a decent amount. Not too much else there, really. Blomqvist really has not developed, so that's why we went for a goalie like Karpatsev. And then we got re-signing to do. All right, so when it comes to the re-signing phase here, we got Blake Lizotte as an RFA. Obviously, he had a huge season. 70 points for this team was pretty darn solid, and he's up to an 85 overall. So, yeah, Lizotte is definitely going to be one of those guys we want to extend a contract to. And 5.95 million isn't bad for 8 years, though. So until he's 34, we could sign him for 7.1. It's not bad, but again, not necessarily something we want to commit to super long term because he is a smaller body player, so we'll go 4 years at 6.15 million there. Chris Tanev will offer exactly what he wants. Again, we have excess money right now, so really we're just trying to extend these guys to stay with the team more so than anything because, again, we just need them in the team to fill roster spots while we continue to collect prospects. So Zaitsev will be another one of those guys that we need to sign, just overpay for completely, and it's not a big deal at all. So Taro Heroes, we're going to sign for like $5 million again for 1 year. Again, there's lots of these contracts, so really that's pretty much all we're doing here for the next 5 to 7 minutes. It's not super crazy or anything like that, but we will probably just kind of fast forward zoom through this, so if you want to slow down the video you can do that, but otherwise I'm just going to fast forward through this clip. All right, so one of the players here that didn't re-sign was Chris Tanev, so we'll offer him $5 million for 1 year. And then, yeah, apart from that, most of these are short-term deals. We're not super worried or stressed about them. But, yeah, Michael Hage probably will go back to junior for 1 more year, and that's all good by me. Then he develops properly, and we get a better player in the end. So, yeah, Thomas Nosek we will re-sign as well. But apart from that, again, not too many players that didn't want to re-sign with this team, which is surprising considering we really were not much of a team. We were pretty bad. So yeah, again, just trying to get those other guys makes a huge impact. But overall, like, yeah, there's just just so many good players here. So there are so many good players, so many role players that we're going to eventually make room for better good prospects. So yeah, there's really not a lot of good players, to be completely honest. We are going to use the cap filler situation there with David Rittich as well, or Riddick, however you want to say his name, for $18 million for 1 year, just to make sure we don't have salary cap inflations. And we didn't quite have the money to actually do that Rittich deal. I realize we spent it on extensions now, but we will just continue to go sign him for $14 million or whatever for 1 season, maybe 13, but still, maybe even less than that. What do we end up signing him for? It's got to be like 11, maybe 10, probably 10 million. Yeah, because $4 million in cap space isn't going to inflate all your salaries, which is nice. 10 million though probably will. So, all right, let's get Appleby for like 1.25, maybe 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 is a good price there. So, all right, let's advance one more day here. Dylan Coughlin's up to a high top 4 defenseman as well, which I did not realize until just now. But yeah, all right, we get those goalies back, and the team should be pretty bad still for the next couple seasons, but that is all good. So yeah, Matvei Michkov is up to an 80 overall there. We get Michael Hage. We get, of course, Kirill Vorobyov is going to be probably one of our future leaders on this team. And yeah, just really, really solid group here. And ooh, is that a Jonathan Marchessault? So I see. I don't know if I don't think we'll be able to sign him for $5 million, but again, that is all good. And yeah, Marchessault would actually be one of the few that we would go for. Maybe Zuccarello too, but again, we're trying to keep this team bad rather than good. So signing guys like Marchessault, or again, like Zuccarello, I totally just blanked on his name there for a second, don't actually contribute to this team's goals in the long run. So yeah, as unfortunate as that is how we're just going to play it. We can't sign Pavel Yaskin because he was drafted by Winnipeg, but otherwise he would have been a decent pickup. So overall for free agency, we're probably not going to sign anybody, and we're just going to send him to the next season. All right, guys, so taking a look at our team ratings here for the upcoming season, here's what we're going to be rolling with. So in the AHL, let me just, move my face cam right out of the way and then in the way kind of thing. We're looking at 75 offense, 78 defense, and 66 goaltending. And then in the NHL, if we get there eventually, we'll see those ratings. So in the NHL this year, we're going to be looking at 89 offense, 87 defense, and 78 goaltending. So again, getting slightly better there, but again, nothing super special here yet, as the team really just needs some more work still. So guys, to wrap up the season this year, the Atlanta Gladiators put up an atrocious record of 27, 48, and 7 for 61 points, which is perfect. That's exactly where we wanted to be. And I believe we finish not dead last, but third last in the conference, or in the entire league, just ahead of Colorado. And I believe, I don't even know how this Colorado team was that bad when they have these players. Like, that is a good group, but somehow they do that. Same with St. Louis. Again, not a team you would expect to be particularly horrible, but they are for one reason or another. So yeah, interesting there. And that is where we finished this season. So yeah, third last in the league, not bad. Kirill Vorobyov puts up 73 points, I believe, setting a new franchise record there this season, as really we haven't had crazy amounts of scoring. 60 and 70 points in the first 2 seasons. So yeah, Vorobyov 73 there is a new record, obviously, but again, very good season there. Matvei Michkov, not bad either, with 68 points, and very solid from him. Lizotte scores 63, so a little bit of a down year there, and 41 assists for Trenton Kidd, not too shabby there either, but not a bad season for a team that finished third last. So yeah, we get the balanced scoring, we get those rookies scoring, which is exactly what we wanted to do, or you get the young guys scoring anyways, but yeah, for the overall league, your league leaders this year, of course, are going to be Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and then Robertson, Eichel, and Marner. So, yeah, very big name players there. No surprise, really, that they are up there. And defensively, Quinn Hughes has 76 assists, 89 points, just beating out Adam Fox and Evan Bouchard there. But Vidic, Vanecek, and Jack Campbell are going to be the top goalies there. Vanecek will probably win the Vezina, but I might be wrong on that. And Michkov does just top out Maverick Bourque and Adam Fantilli for the most points by a rookie. He does get outscored by a single goal by Maverick Bourque, but again, when you have two of the top 5 rookies in the league, that is trending in the right direction as far as team growth goes. As far as top scorer goes this year, Matthews beat out McDavid by like 7 goals, so yeah, not really too much of a contest there. And yeah, like I said, third last place finish. Toronto was the President's Trophy winners, but yeah, that was our NHL side. As far as the AHL team goes, Dominik Kahun went off. Our team put up 121 points with a 55, 16, and 11 record. That is absolutely absurd. And yeah, really not bad there at all. But yeah, hopefully we will be picking in the top 5 or 6 here. If we fall to pick 6 or 7 and get that Uljevic guy, I would not be too upset with that. He looks like a solid defenseman, especially with that size too. And then I noticed there is, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there is another Kirill Vorobyov in this draft, funny enough. Just so strange, like, how do you end up with 2 of the same name players that both are Russian, both play left wing, everything like that? Just kind of strange there. But again, if we somehow fall really far, which we shouldn't, Daigle would be the other player that we could potentially go for. And this Gerlu guy I would really like to get as well. I don't know if we'll quite be able to land him. If we don't, then that is what it is. But yeah, we're looking at other guys like, Ramo Kiprasov there, who could potentially be a good defenseman. We need some defense in this team. Stan Fitz, again, doesn't look too bad either, but I don't know if we'll quite be able to get him or not. So yeah, crazy season there in the AHL. I don't even understand how our team did that well when really, like, our AHL team wasn't anything super special. But yeah, we do have, the AHL playoffs to get through, so we'll kind of just sim through those, see if our team gets knocked out or not. And honestly, who knows how it's going to go, because the playoffs are insane. They're always a monster. So, all right, not looking great. 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. Okay, so we do win our first round series with the Birmingham Warriors there. Fortunately, Dominik Kahun has 8 points in 6 games, so not bad at all there. And looking at the draft class again, if we somehow move up and land Michael Misa, that would be a franchise-defining move most likely. But I don't see us winning the lottery unless we just get super lucky. So anyways, apart from that, looking at the rest of the draft class here, again, not too many guys that really, really jump out as like, oh, this guy's going to be a star kind of player. It looks like a solid draft, but again, nothing super crazy that we're likely going to be able to draft and land. I wish we could get, or I'm hoping we can get Gerlu. I don't think he's going to fall, though, necessarily at pick 30. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of these guys turn out with more scouting here, but overall, it's still going to be a little bit of a process to just, scout all these guys, make sure that we have full potentials on them before we hit the draft. All right, so simulating ahead to round 2 here in the playoffs, and we got the Rochester Americans, and we lose 2, win 2, and then lose 2. So we're out in the second round, unfortunately. And that one kind of stings because, I feel like we could probably beat a team like Rochester, and we don't. So that one kind of sucks in the AHL, but again, it is what it is, and we'll move on to kind of the end of the season wrap-up based on who wins the awards and things like such. So guys, this season, the Edmonton Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup, beating out the New York Rangers in 7 games there. And yeah, just a good playoff run from McDavid and that group. Of course, we know they got something special going on there in Edmonton. And honestly, although this is 2025 in this franchise mode, but who knows? Like this could be a realistic, state of events happening here if things keep going the way they have so far for the Edmonton Oilers in 2023, but who knows? So, moving forward here a little bit more, and we will take a look at the AHL playoffs. But yeah, just, take it in, get a good look at this playoff bracket if you want. If not, skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, I guess I was just inputting all the playoff options here, but yeah, let's see how the AHL did. So looking at the AHL playoffs here, and the Rochester Americans would go on to win the Calder Cup. They beat us out in round 2 and then continued on to beat Tucson as well as a couple other teams there. So yeah. So guys, moving on to awards this year, and as far as the AHL awards go, I guess we'll start with the NHL awards. So McDavid would of course win the Art Ross as well as the Hart. Bouchard would get the Norris this year. Draisaitl would get the Lady Byng. Maverick Bourque would win the Calder, so Michkov got snubbed there, but McDavid gets the Conn Smythe. Freddie Anderson wins back-to-back Vezinas, as well as he gets back-to-back Jennings, so that's insane goaltending there. David Savard wins the Masterton. Cassian there, Seattle's coach, wins the Jack Adams. Barkov gets the Selke this year, and the Ted Lindsay, of course, goes to McDavid. And, of course, 5 Rockets in a row for Matthews. That's pretty insane. So guys, moving on to the AHL awards here, the Sullenberger would go to Parise, same with the Cunningham this year, and the Marsh would go to Tyler Madden. Yzerman would get the Red Garrett Memorial Trophy there. Emile Andre would get the Eddie Shore. The Baz would go to Montembeau this year, and then there's 2 more awards, I believe. Come on. There we go. Isaac Rosen with the Butterfield. And finally, Parise with the Hunt as well. I think there is one more. Yeah, and Thompson there with the Yannick Dupree. So, guys, just taking one more peek here. Just taking one more peek at the progress reports here, guys, and things are looking solid. We've got certain prospects developing quite well, and really it's just a matter of time before we begin to build out a solid depth kind of group here with this team. I'm honestly going to bet that it takes about 10 seasons. That would be my bet as far as how long it takes until we have a really phenomenal team, but we'll see how the upcoming draft goes and if we land some really solid pieces or what happens. So yeah, in the system, Walsh had a really good year. Apart from that, Strome's doing all right. Same with Karpatsev. He's up to a 61, so that's solid there. And then Michael Hage only grew 1 rating despite having 17 modifications to his stats there. Salo's up to a 53, and that was pretty much it for any real growth down in the system this season. But yeah, that is where we're going to wrap this one up. Next episode, we will get to the lottery, we will get to the draft, and, hopefully we will actually see something good happen. But that's going to be it for this one. If you guys enjoyed, show your support with a like, subscription, and notification. And that is going to be it for me. This is Etaniel signing out, and until next time.